Military jets in the sky, caught in a frame, lens focused tight, playing a game. Metal bird soar, pilots on a mission. Ramp check, photographer snap, capturing vision. Wings spread wide, slicing through blue. Every click, a story anew. Altitude climbing, cameras aligning. Jets and lens, perfectly timed. Fly high, lens low, skies open wide. Pilots and shooters on this ride. From the cockpit view to ground below. Aviation dreams through the shutters glow. Engines roar loud, heartbeats sync up. Flash of light, afterburners lit up. Pilot maneuvers, still in display. Ramp check captures, night turning day. Clouds part, shadows dance on the wings. Eyes sharp, capturing majestic things. Uniforms and cameras, different arts. In sync, playing their parts. From sunrise flexes to sunset landings. Moments of flight, candid standings. Memory cards fill, hearts too full. Aviation life, beautiful pull. Flash of light, afterburners lit up. From the cockpit view to ground below. Aviation dreams through the shutters glow. Engines roar loud, heartbeats sync up. Flash of light, afterburners lit up. From the cockpit view to ground below. Aviation dreams through the shutters glow. Flash of light, afterburners lit up. From the cockpit view to ground below. Aviation dreams through the shutters glow. Engines roar loud, heartbeats sync up. Flash of light, afterburners lit up. From the cockpit view to ground below. Aviation dreams through the shutters glow. Engines roar loud, heartbeats sync up. Flash of light, afterburners lit up. From the cockpit view to ground below. Aviation dreams through the shutters glow. Engines roar loud, heartbeats sync up. Flash of light, afterburners lit up. From the cockpit view to ground below. Aviation dreams through the shutters glow. From sunrise flexes to sunset landings. Moments of flight, candid standings. Memory cards fill, hearts too full. Aviation life, beautiful pull. Sky full of iron birds, wings kissed by the dawn. Shutter clicks echo, memories are born. High altitude art frames boundless sky, capturing the soul in a single eye. Pilot steady hands, cruising through the stratos. Crew weaving tales in cabins like shadows. Lenses on the runway, passion takes flight. Photographers kneel, chasing the light. Pilot steady hands, cruising through the stratos. Crew weaving tales in cabins like shadows. Lenses on the runway, passion takes flight. Photographers kneel, chasing the light. Sky snapshots, tales from the air. Moments frozen, stories to share. Mile high dreams in every shot. Aviation bliss we never forgot. canvas of blue. Planes paint paths, graceful and true. From takeoff to landing, magic unfolds. Cameras capture, legends retold. Jet streams whisper, tales of yore. Pilots navigate to distant shores. Crew in motion, like actors on stage. Photographers chronicle every age. Sky snapshots, tales from the air. Moments frozen, stories to share. Mile-high dreams in every shot. Aviation bliss we never forgot. Jet streams whisper tales of yore. Pilots navigate to distant shores. Crew in motion, like actors on stage. Photographers chronicle every age. Jet streams whisper tales of yore. Pilots navigate to distant shores. Crew in motion, like actors on stage. Photographers chronicle ever forgotten. Photographers chronicle every age. Sky snapshots, tales from the air. Moments frozen, stories to share. Mile-high dreams in every shot. Aviation bliss we never forgot. I send a blue warrior in flight. Silent whispers blend with roaring might. Steel wings slicing through the endless sky. Chasing dreams where the eagles dare to fly. With fire in the heart and jets ablaze. Defying the gravity, lost in the haze. A dance with destiny, the heavens ignite. In the solitude, she finds her light. Turning the world beneath a ballet of speed. Through clouds and shadows, she's destined to lead. A symphony of power in the calm so profound. Echoes of freedom in each thunderous sound. With fire in the heart and jets ablaze. Defying the gravity, lost in the haze. A dance with destiny, the heavens ignite. In the solitude, she finds her light. In the solitude, she finds her light. Turning the world beneath a ballet of speed. Through clouds and shadows, she's destined to lead. A symphony of power in the calm so profound. Echoes of freedom in each thunderous sound.
Runway 14, wind 190 at 5, clear for takeoff. Lighting myself, takeoff on full time.
People like you, organizations like RampCheck, I love you guys.
are clear for takeoff runway 21 left. Winds are called. Stand by for the retrans on uniform. It's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to the first edition of the RampCheck Aviation Podcast of 2025. I'm Tony.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Ryan.
It's kind of cramped in here, boys.
Good evening.
Very cramped. I feel like
Hey, brothers.
Hey,
I
brother.
feel like we're
Need a pen?
like jammed in like an F-111 cockpit all together.
It's kind of what it
Three
feels like,
side by
right?
side.
Or I kind of feel like I'm jump seating in an EMB-120 Brasilia. Yes.
Never
That's
done
okay.
that,
We're
but
family.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's tight. We're okay. A couple of us were sick, but that's done. And
Hopefully.
we're just happy to be here, damn it.
We
That's
are.
right.
And
Yeah, happy 2025.
yes, happy 2025. Hope everybody had a great new year. I just want to get this out of the way really quick. Condolences to the families and all the people affected by the terror attack. I'm just going to say it, that happened in New Orleans overnight.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
Well,
Bastard.
and even in Vegas, man.
yeah. Well,
That Cybertruck.
there
You,
were
just,
some. It's
you never know.
yeah. You never do.
You know,
never
it's
do.
like welcome to 2025, but kind of a shitty week leading up to it, right?
Well, yeah, a couple of weeks leading up to it as well. So that was crazy. Let's see. Wadman says, "Wow, all three of you in the room." Oh,
I know,
yeah,
believe it or not. Trust me, this
Crazy.
isn't the ideal situation.
it's not, but hey,
What? It's ideal for
I'm
me.
just kidding.
yeah, we're all
You're not.
together.
I'm kidding.
Brothers don't shake hands.
Brothers got
I don't have that one. Anyway,
No,
whatever.
you
Oh
don't.
yeah, you're on the soundboard.
I'm on the
tonight.
soundboard, but you don't
Yeah,
have that
I
one,
don't.
which
I
is
don't
why
have
I
that
did
one
it.
in there. Oh, thanks.
Is that better?
Yeah, sure. Wow, lots to talk about tonight. Of course, you saw the podcast, Goodbye 2024, and Hello White Emperor. You guys know what White Emperor means, right?
well,
We'll talk about
Yes.
that, of course. Right.
there you go.
Is that right?
Okay,
Spot
you're
on.
Spot on. Of course, it's been a rough couple of weeks for aviation. You call them, all of them major incidents, or all just 4 incidents, I guess, in varying severity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some bad
Um,
ones.
well,
yeah.
A couple of really,
Over 200 souls lost, so
Yeah.
that's rough.
that's
Right.
terrible.
Yeah.
And all of it was, of course, in the airline industry, the travel industry, which has been affected.
Mhm.
And of course, we'll talk about all of that here in a little bit. Our hearts, prayers go out to families as well, the people who were affected by those. But I guess, there was a 5th incident. But it was with a Marine Corps CH-53.
Mhm.
Fortunately, everybody survived that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just a hard landing. It certainly looked a lot worse than it was. And we've also got a couple stories as well. People are wondering, are seats getting smaller, seatbelts getting tighter, or is Leo getting larger?
Oh, God.
What movie?
I don't remember.
I don't
Did you say Leo?
And Leo's getting larger.
I don't remember.
It's from Airplane.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so we're going to talk
That's
about
why.
that as well. And of course, in our Fuck Around and Find Out segment, we'll be talking about. Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
But before we begin,
Mhm.
I'd say, what do you say? I think it's time for our first palate cleansing video of tonight, of the evening.
Let's go.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
let's
See it.
see. Oh, damn it, they're all out of order. Let's see. Okay, here we go. This comes from this is coming from Combat Learjet on X.
Cool content, man.
Yeah, we love Combat Learjet. Guest of the podcast. We got to get him back on again, but maybe we'll make him wear his gear so nobody recognizes him. Great video from Instagram, Jonathan_Warner88. This is a C5 emerging out of the fog. Check this out. This is just freaking amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
Need to play the Star Wars bad guy theme song.
Right?
Yeah, that's sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. I'm
As
glad we got to see
much
that.
as we love the C5M Super Galaxy, that would have been better with the old engines.
With the
Yeah.
C5Bs.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I know.
That's all right. That's
Yeah,
okay.
that's cool. We it's still the C5, and
Mhm.
you know that looked like in the post he said it was I think RAF Fairford. Is that what he said?
I think so.
Where that was,
Yeah,
but
over in the UK.
that reminds me though of when I worked for Pinnacle Airlines in Memphis,
Mhm.
and they had that a C5 base. I think it was a National Guard base right there at the Memphis airport. And
Okay.
I remember sometimes at night I'd drive out and watch the C5s, and of course the FedEx MD-10s, and
Oh yeah.
you know, taking
That's
off
cool.
and landing in the fog. That's really what that reminded me of, and I thought it could have been Memphis, but
Well, where's those
Obviously,
videos and
wasn't.
photos from those days?
dude,
That was
I
back
think
before
my-
anything was digital.
I
I'm
think my
sure.
phone was a flip phone back then.
You still had a phone?
I don't even know if I had one. I'm trying. What year
Damn,
was
was
that?
that was that long ago?
It was a minute ago.
Motorola Crazers. or
I guess-
Razors.
I know I had
Yeah.
a phone.
I guess I'm the only one that's had a camera since I was a teenager.
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if it
pretty
wasn't a
much,
phone.
Yeah.
Right. You're
You
a
are.
true app geek, brother.
That's right.
I know. Well, we're all app geeks.
Yes.
You just have your camera with you.
I'm the
everywhere you
photographer.
go. Exactly. Holy cow! So much to talk about. Should we just start with?
Were you not going to do the other palate cleansing?
Oh, you wanted? I was going to do that to cleanse the
Split
palate
it.
between.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Between, but
All right.
that's okay. I do have a funny picture to show you, though. You think this picture's on every line shack in the U.S.?
Yeah, no doubt. It's
Yeah.
definitely a line check.
Right?
You can just tell.
See the pilots rolling their eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was kind of funny. We can talk about this really quick before we get into the weeds, you know,
Okay.
everything else going on. A couple of cool launches coming up.
Mm-hmm.
The maiden flight of Blue Origin,
The
Okay.
New Glenn rocket,
the New Glenn rocket,
which last week did a full, well, I don't know, full duration. I mean, I'm not Mr. Space Geek here, but they actually did a I don't know, what do you call it? Why am I blanking here?
A test burn?
They fired all the engines. They, ran it for 20, 30 seconds, which is pretty cool. It's the first
Nice.
time that it ever happened with that rocket fully assembled and ready for flight. So,
You know, I like this New Glenn rocket a little bit better because it doesn't look like a penis.
You liked it better than the old Glenn?
I like the New Glenn better than the old
yeah,
Glenn.
New Shepard is a little gnarly looking.
I just think it's cool that we're having like space races again, like the
Yeah.
competition, and I'm
Well, and the
excited for
space
that.
race is among the good guys
Yep,
this time,
that's right.
which is really cool. I'm pretty excited about. And,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. I think that Blue Origin may have their space in all this, and some of these other emerging companies. But I mean, come on, you got SpaceX has set the bar, and it's set it way, way high.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
Well, Blue Origin, they're going to land the first stage on a drone ship, just like SpaceX does.
Nice.
So
Do you think-
their whole plan, whether it happens on the first flight,
Right.
I don't know, because it took SpaceX a while to get Falcon 9 down. It took 6 flights
Right.
before they recovered the main, the super heavy booster for SpaceX. So
Do you think Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are texting each other back and forth? Hey, what do you think about this? You like this idea? What do you think?
yeah.
Well, and even the Chinese are getting in on landing boosters, or at least trying as well. I mean, it's the way of the future, basically.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm excited for both of these. That'll be cool.
I am too. So, and then Starship Flight number 7 scheduled to happen next Friday, a week from tomorrow, January 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And we're super excited about that. And of course, we'll jump on and we'll carry
Some
that live.
coverage.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So just make sure you're following us on social media. Of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends and family. But also at the same time, come on over to our RampCheck page, and we'll just show that up here. This is what we look like on X.
Showing us live right
Hey,
now.
look, we're live.
Look.
All right. Anyway, there is a link. If you're not watching on X, if you're watching on YouTube or one of the other platforms, Rumble, Facebook. Did I forget somebody?
Rumble, Facebook, YouTube.
Anyway, yeah. So
X.
if you're watching us on one of those other platforms, there is a link in our description where you can come over here and follow us right here. Make sure you click that notification bell as well. RampCheck Aviation. That is us
right.
on X. So,
Yes.
Anyway.
And YouTube.
It's a good looking page.
And YouTube. It's a good looking page. Lots of cool content too. I mean, we've got a lot of shorts and stuff on YouTube, this and that, whatever. So, and don't forget it's a live stream. Usually we're going to do better in 2025. New Year's resolution?
Maybe. Well, last week was Christmas.
Pinky swear, brothers.
I mean, we're good.
I'm not touching your pinky.
Ew.
For God's sakes.
Not that pinky.
We're not going to touch pinkies.
Anyway. Yes, thank you. Every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time right here. And then we're going to try and jump on a lot more as current events or breaking news happens, just so we can discuss it, make sure it's out there, and bring it to you. So
Right, this one's a little bit more appropriate. There you
Yeah.
Oh, you're still on the pinky, brother?
go. Yeah. It's the first time we've ever said pinky swear on this podcast. So I promise those of you listening that we don't always do that.
Hopefully the last.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. So a lot of crazy stuff. Of course, 2024 ended on a pretty bad note when it comes to aviation, it was rough.
Yeah, it was. It was like you'd read one thing and then you would think that you were reading a part of the same story, but just to find out it was a new story. It was definitely a rough week for aviation. So let's jump in here. Which one are we doing first?
So the first, we'll kind of go chronologically.
Okay.
This first one, of course, if you hadn't heard about that, this, how's the size on that? Do I need to, zoom in at all? Okay.
I think that's good.
All right. Perfect. So this is from flight level FL360 Aero on X. Azerbaijan. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Yep.
Close enough.
Azerbaijan Airlines flight J28243 tragic crash. What do we know so far? So you guys know that there was some video on there, and we're not going to show it unless you want to.
I don't know. Maybe if someone hasn't seen it.
Yeah,
but
here's some video from inside the cabin. We'll go over this in a minute, but this is basically what happened. So, no official preliminary details have been released by a competent authority on the details and circumstances of the crash. Now, this post is, let's see, usually it says there on there when it was. This post is from last week. Okay, so new details, of course, have probably emerged.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Anyway, flight J28243 operated by an Embraer EMB-190 crashed near the Aktau Airport in Kazakhstan. I can't think. Anyway. The 2013 built Embraer aircraft powered by blah 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 was flying from Baku.
Sounds like the Star Wars.
It wasn't Baku and
no, it's Jakku.
Oh, Jakku. Okay, I was going to say I wasn't aware that the EMB-190s had hyperdrives.
Yeah, and the ERJ-190 is also the one of the larger variants. I think they have a 190 and a 195. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it departed Baku at 0355 Zulu, Universal UTC, to Grozny. GPS jamming disrupted ADS-B signals at 4:40, briefly resumed again at 6:07 UTC before the crash at 6:28. At least 38 occupants lost life in the crash, including the two pilots. At least 32 others survived the incident. And these pirates, Jesus, arg. These pilots have been dubbed heroes for saving these people because just lots of crazy shit happened.
You watch the video, you can kind of have a little glimpse of maybe what they were going through.
And you look at the flight path, when it shows, and it was gaining altitude, losing altitude, erratic, they did
it's like they were trying to control the aircraft with a differential thrust.
Right.
2 engines.
And as per sources and evidence available so far, the pilots attempted to land at Grozny 2 times, but failed. Later during the 3rd attempt, there was an external explosion and a piece of shrapnel penetrated the fuselage. Shrapnel also damaged one of the left flap fairings, along with the aircraft's empennage, horizontal, and vertical stabilizers. The aircraft did not crash due to the explosion, which could be an anti-aircraft fire, but flew over the Caspian Sea, and pilots tried their best to control the attitude of the aircraft.
There it is,
Now, that was when it was trying to land in Grozny. So during the last 74 minutes of the flight, the vertical speed oscillated between the positive and negative values more than 105 times, from negative 8,300 to positive 8,300 feet per minute. Can you pull up a video of the actual flight, brother? Or if you have some more information. And then...
Yeah, that's the screen I was talking about.
Oh, yeah, we need to look at that. Which indicated control issues, obviously.
So let me just pull this up really quick. So there's a screenshot from Flight Radar 24. You can just see how, the pilots were doing everything that they could.
It would have been so scary to be a passenger on that, because if you don't know much about aviation, that would be scary, right? But if you knew... you knew something was wrong, it's buckle up, things aren't good.
Well, and not only that, but you have to remember, when you're flying, through the air in this aircraft, there's all kinds of systems that keeps the flight stable and, level, and you got the yaw dampers, all that, and guaranteed none of that shit was in operation here, so they were probably getting whipped around everywhere. You feel bad for them.
There was some video from inside the aircraft, and you can see that the oxygen masks are deployed. You can kind of tell it's a little chaotic. Not chaos inside, but people are obviously concerned about what's going on. But holy shit, that would have been scary, and it's just so sad that the outcome, because you can tell those pilots did everything they could, and. We're going to pull up some video here in a few minutes.
Here's part of that if you want to.
Oh, that's the
interior.
The interior, yeah.
Aaron, if you want to maybe find
one. Stand by.
So check this.
See,
a
little bit of damage. Yep.
Yeah, wow.
Not sure why the audio is so bad, but
see all the masks deployed and
wow. All right, so I've got some video. Stand by. And everybody's probably seen this, but
so here's part of the aftermath right here. You can see all the different holes in the fuselage.
Yep.
Wow. All right. So I think it switched over to the video I had queued up. So I'll just go ahead and.
Oh, it did. Look at that.
And you see what a dive it takes.
Well, and that's what is a telltale sign of trying to control with the thrust. Because you can see, going up and down, and, he applies, he brings the throttle up, starts to climb again, pulls the throttle back, starts to go down. Yeah, man, what a shitty situation.
It's tough to watch.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But yeah, you can see it's just doing everything that they can to keep the aircraft stable. It reminds you of the DC-10 in Sioux City, Iowa.
Yeah, it really
That's
does.
how they were controlling that aircraft. And it was lucky that, nearly half the people survived that DC-10 crash for the same reason. They lost all their hydraulics. They were flying the aircraft with the number 1 and 3 engines, because the number 2 was the one that blew that fan disc that caused the issues.
Severed all 3
All the
hydraulic lines.
Yeah.
But you imagine being on the ground, just witnessing that too.
Imagine being on the airplane and feeling it, and knowing that you've got a pretty good chance that you're not going to walk away from this. There's video of that guy who was, talking to his family, and just, wow, this is a longer video than I've seen before.
Yeah, this is the long form video of it.
Oh, it's worth watching.
Sure. Oh yeah, I mean, just to show. I mean, they got the gear down okay, looks like. God.
And there goes the deceleration.
Yeah.
See the nose pitch down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's hardly any of it.
And you know what's interesting is every time, or at least in this video, whenever they've started to descend, the wings always roll to the right.
They did roll to the right.
Oh, it's really much.
There it is.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh, it's a rough one. Anyway, that video was posted by Mr. Guns and Gear.
Oh, Mr. Guns and Gear. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know who. Let's see who filmed that. Well, anyway, all right, there you have it. But that's rough to watch. That's now since all that has gone down, obviously a lot of information has come out that it was a surface-to-air missile actually that exploded in the vicinity of the aircraft. It was accidentally targeted. Apparently, there was a lot of drone activity in the area. I mean, it's the whole...
It was accidentally targeted, just like the Korean Airlines Boeing 747 back in the 80s.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know.
So, I don't know. It's rough. Well, you have to think, okay, so how many lives and aircraft have been claimed during this conflict over in Ukraine and Russia? I mean, you remember was it the Malaysian Air 777 that was shot down over Ukraine? Like, how long ago was that?
Yeah, that's right.
Wasn't it Malaysian Air?
That was probably...
I'm not talking about the one that disappeared over the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking about there was that 777 that was shot down, I think, by some rebels or something. Yep. And we'll have to double check that. But then,
if you're watching, you guys want to double check that on us or send us a link, please feel free to. Wadman, it was a giant clusterfuck with no time in between. Boy,
you're damn right about that. Yeah. So, but anyway, so there was that one, and then this one I know of, and then there was one. You remember the? I think it was a Ukrainian airliner that was shot down over Iran. Remember? Mm-hmm. The 737 that was shot down. Oh
yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's ties to this whole conflict all over that region. And here we go again, it's like...
Exactly.
It's just scary and it's sad. Like, you're just traveling. Yeah, you're just traveling. You got to get around and you're just caught in the middle of it. It's like you said, I did read a report that there was some drone activity. And what actually happened was the drones were being shot down and the shrapnel from the surface-to-air missiles and that's what caught the aircraft. The aircraft itself maybe wasn't struck, but directly, they were indirectly wrong place, wrong time. I don't know. Like, you were not going to know.
And we may never know because
they may never release it.
Right. I know that Russian, leader Putin, President Putin, did release a statement, but came short of actually, blaming his military forces on it, but he, expressed regret and condolences and all that stuff. But I don't know, man. This world needs good leadership, and so shit like this stops happening.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's sad.
Exactly. I just want to pull up this article from the War Zone and just kind of go over this really quick. Everything we know about what led to the Azerbaijan airliner crash. Now, again, this is also from last week, but
Do you want me to read this one?
Yeah,
or
go ahead,
Do
brother.
you
Go
want
for
to? Azerbaijan Airlines flight JS8432 crashed in Kazakhstan Wednesday after being fired upon by a Russian Panzer S-1 short-range air defense system. The head of Ukraine's Defense Intelligence Directorate told the War Zone, while a U.S. official told us that a Russian anti-aircraft system may have struck the aircraft. So they went from saying it was to may have. These claims line up with the video emerging from inside the jet and the crash scene, as well as reporting by several news outlets, indicating the Russian air defense system caused the crash of the Embraer 190 passenger jet that killed 38. The War Zone cannot independently verify these claims, while several investigations are underway, and Russian, Azerbaijani, and Kazakh officials urge restraint in reaching conclusions about the crash, which is good. I'm glad they say that because, you know, you got to verify.
Well, yeah, too many people speculate and
Right.
throw shit out there before all the...
here's another thing really quick. Just let me interject this before you read this next paragraph. Why the fuck are passenger planes flying around in these war zones in the first place?
Yeah, I know. They should not be.
Seriously.
Yeah, they should not be. And
Well, they don't have, you know, I mean, say what you say about the FAA, but the FAA would, if there was shit going on in one of the states here in the United States, it would be a no-fly zone.
Exactly.
Avoid this area.
There would be a TFR for the entire
Exactly.
area.
And so some of these countries, they probably do need to step up and be like, you know what? There's fucking surface-to-air missile batteries in this vicinity. So, yeah, we're not doing it.
And the TFR would have a stern warning saying that if you fly into this airspace, you will be shot down.
Yeah.
So, anyway, sorry, Ryan.
Video taken by a passenger just before the crash reportedly showed shrapnel holes in the fuselage, consistent with damage from a Russian surface-to-air missile, according to the Twitter account of Azeri Times news outlet. The footage also shows a woman bleeding from her leg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and there's like
From the
shrapnel
shrapnel.
holes in the seats. And
Yep.
We want to play this real fast?
Yeah, this is the one the audio is kind of off.
oh, somebody's recording it from a phone.
Oh, that's right. That's the noise we're getting.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Another video appeared to show the shrapnel damage as well.
Yeah, we saw that.
We saw that one.
Yeah, and then
saw
and that one. Yeah.
The jet's final moments can be seen in videos showing its pilots trying to land the aircraft before it crashed. It appeared to pitch upward, then descend at a steep angle several times. On its final approach, the Embraer 190 again descended at a steep angle before banking to the right and crashing near the runway, erupting in a ball of flames. So,
yeah, that's rough. And that's part of the video that we already watched.
Yeah, it just looks like they just had no control over the control surfaces. Like,
yeah,
it goes.
It
into
looks
a
like
bank.
it looks like a total hydraulic loss.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Damn.
I'm guessing human beings. Holy shit.
Let me stop that video real quick. I'm sorry. There you go.
As far as we know, the jet was shot down by a Russian Panzer S-1 air defense system on Russian terrain. GUR Commander Lieutenant General Krilo Budanov told us, citing 4 sources close to the Azerbaijani investigation, Reuters reported that the jet was downed by a Russian air defense after diverting from an area of Russia in which Moscow has used air defense systems against Ukrainian drone strikes in recent months. Euronews, citing Azerbaijani government sources, reported that a Russian surface-to-air missile caused the Azerbaijan Airlines plane crash in Aktau on Wednesday. According to the sources, the The missile was fired at Flight 8432 during drone air activity above Grozny, and the shrapnel hit the passengers and cabin crew as it exploded next to the aircraft mid-flight, which is that's what I was talking about that I had heard.
Yeah, that's how those surface-to-air missiles actually
they
work. It's not like
the
a missile going
impact,
right up into the engine. It gets within the vicinity of the aircraft, and the warhead is designed to explode and shoot shrapnel.
Yeah, basically exactly what it did.
Exactly what it did.
Yep. So it's almost done here. Let's see. Government sources have told the Euronews that the damaged aircraft was not allowed to land at any Russian airports despite the pilot's request for an emergency landing, and it was ordered to fly across the Caspian Sea towards Aktau in Kazakhstan. According to data, the plane's GPS navigation systems were jammed throughout the flight path above the sea. Aktau is nearly 300 miles east
nuts. Now,
of Grozny.
You know, they should have allowed them to land because he probably had enough hydraulic fluid.
Exactly.
Yeah, possibly.
How many lives would that have saved?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's all speculation. We don't know what was damaged when the missile exploded. But it sounds like maybe they had enough control of the aircraft where they possibly could have landed, you know, within minutes of this happening. And maybe there would have been enough hydraulic fluid inside the system.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. I mean, maybe it damaged, you know, whatever actuators or
what's the
severed
reasoning?
the lines immediately. I mean,
God, I keep disappearing from the screen here. What's not that I need to see myself. What's the logical reason they wouldn't let them land in Russia? So they can say that they didn't shoot it down on Russian soil?
Yeah, I mean, it was probably oh shit, we just shot that aircraft and it looks like we hit it, and it sounds like we did because they're requesting an emergency landing.
Yeah.
Like,
get the evidence the hell out of here.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, maybe there was some really evil going on, and they're like, they're going to go over the Caspian Sea?
Caspian Sea.
And it'll be lost forever. You know, you just never know that kind of shit.
Isn't that where The Little Mermaid took place? Caspian Sea?
I don't know, brother.
Anyway.
I don't know when. I don't know how.
Wow. I don't know what button this is. Oh, perfect.
This is probably a better one. Anyway. Wagman says, thank you, Tony. Stay the hell away from active war zones. Exactly. I mean, it's common fucking sense.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
Really sad.
Yeah. By the way, sorry, Mom. Okay. I just had to, gets me fired up. Hey, everybody who's watching, thank you for watching tonight. Looks like we've got a lot of people on X this evening. If you are one of those, use the chat function and say hi. The chat function should be working.
Yeah, drop a hello. Tell us where you're watching.
Yeah, sure. Tell us where you're watching from. If you have a question for us, if you have a comment, as long as it's a nice one.
Yeah. The system that we have, we can chat live while we're live streaming through YouTube and Facebook and X. So if you're on Rumble, we don't have that connection yet, but
I was just making sure that the connectivity was working.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because the only comments we're getting right now are from Wadman. Thank you. But he's watching on YouTube tonight. So anyway, let us know that the chat function is working in X, because it has gone down a couple of times in the past. So we want to just, keep that going. So moving on from, we'll just go ahead and go to this one here really quick, and then we'll talk about this. But so that wasn't the only tragedy that happened that day. Or actually, that was the only one that happened that day. Fast forward another week, and then we've got 3 incidents that happened in one day.
Yep.
At KLM, Royal Dutch Airlines Boeing 737-800. We'll talk about that here in just a minute, but overran the runway. They were having some hydraulic issues. The Air Canada de Havilland Dash 8 was that really a Dash 8 or is it Q400? I guess it was.
Well,
it's the same thing.
It's still considered a Dash 8, but Q400 is what most people would.
And then, of
Refer
course,
to it.
the terrible tragedy in South Korea, the Jeju Air Boeing 737-800. So we'll go ahead and let's move on to the. Let's see.
We do have a comment coming from X.
Oh, nice. Good. It's
the
working.
new Area 51. Happy New Year, amigos. Checking in from an undisclosed location.
Nice.
Dude,
What's up?
thanks for checking in. Hey, we love your content.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We love following your X account.
That is freaking awesome.
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Got the
thank
new
you.
Area 51 watching. Wow. Hey, we're hitting the big time, brothers.
Sweet.
Let's see. And then let me go back to this one. Sorry, I was trying to get to another post here. Let's see. That would be.
Which accident are we going to now?
We're going to.
We're going to South Korea.
Yeah. No, we're going to. Let's see.
The Dash 8.
Yeah, the Dash 8.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the next one. Sorry, guys, a little crowded in here.
Okay.
This is from Breaking Aviation News and Videos at Aviation BRK on X. Aaron, you want to tackle this one, or you want me to?
Oh, sure. I would love to tackle it.
Okay. Hey, and all these people that we get this great content from on X and these other accounts, give them a follow, guys.
Oh, yeah.
You won't be disappointed. Trust me. All right,
Yeah.
go for it.
So, breaking aviation news and videos at Aviation BRK on X. Air Canada Express, operated by PAL Airlines, Bombardier DHC 8402Q. So, basically, in the aviation industry, like if you're a ramper or pilot, it's a Q400.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Basically. Substantially damaged in a landing accident at Halifax Stansfield International Airport. Air Canada spokesman Peter Fitzpatrick says the plane experienced a suspected landing gear issue, which, that pretty much looks like that.
What it looks like.
Suspected. I love that.
After arrival, Sunday night, the aircraft was unable to reach the terminal, and the crew and 73 passengers were offloaded by bus. So thank God they were able to get off, the aircraft safely. Fitzpatrick said nobody on board was injured, but a spokesman from the Nova Scotia RCMP, who responded to the incident alongside paramedics, say minor injuries were reported. Yeah, because the people, I'm sure they had to
Because
buy some new clothes and underwear.
the pucker factor.
The
exactly.
people with the service
Yeah,
animals.
and
I'm sure they had to change out a few seat cushions.
so and if you've never flown on like a small turboprop commuter, I've never flown on a Dash 8, but I've flown on like a ATR, and I mean everything is so small. The engines are like right there, and I mean, I'm sure the sound of that happening inside that cabin just
Oh yeah, well,
and
you run the risk of fire. Like you see the flames, and my thought would be
spreading.
Like, holy shit, I don't want to burn alive here. So that was really scary footage.
Well, but the thing too about let's just say some of these other regional aircraft. You take a CRJ 200, they're relatively low to the ground. Compared to other aircraft, because the engines are back on the tail, and so the clearance. Some of these others, even like I'm going to go way back here, a Mitsubishi MU2, even though it's a high wing aircraft and it's got the props on the wing.
Yeah, the landing gear is still on the fuselage.
It's on the fuselage.
Yeah.
Look how tall this landing gear is.
Dash 8s, they are high off the ground.
That's a long way to fall.
It's a long landing gear on those on the mains.
And they look so funny. Just when you look at the gear versus the fuselage, when everything's working, of course. Yeah. But here's another view right here. We'll show that video really quick. But yeah, look how tall that gear is.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that they were able to keep it on the runway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where it ended up, but it looks like it's on the runway.
Yep. Exactly.
So I'm surprised they didn't ground loop it.
So they're skating on the runway. Now, is that fire coming from inside the engine? It looks like it is.
It almost
the prop probably struck.
Yeah, I mean,
So there's the prop, obviously, or the wingtip.
Yeah, it's the back of the nacelle.
Yeah, the back of the that's the.
Well, look as well. You can see the wingtip sparking. Look at the
Right there,
wingtip.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can
Right
see
here.
when the wingtip maybe hits the ground too.
So it'll be interesting to see what the investigation,
Yep.
Turns out on that, because it almost looks like that left main maybe if pushed up through into the engine. That's why the engine got fired. Because I mean, usually, at least in a lot of belly landings where you see aircraft or a gear failure, basically just that prop hits the ground and basically just bends or stops spinning. So it looks like the pilots maybe had no clue that they were going to have some type of gear issue. Based on maybe the engine wasn't shut down or maybe they didn't feather it right when they set down. So, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with on that.
Wadman says, afterburner on a prop? Scary.
Not good.
That's correct. Yeah,
Exactly.
That's not what you want.
So another aviation incident that happened. This is, again, from Breaking Aviation News and Videos. KLM 737-800 veers off the runway after landing at Oslo Torp Sandefjord Airport.
I wonder if that's in the Netherlands. That's
freaking Norwegians, dude.
That's where Frank's from.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's right.
This is in his backyard.
Well, that's where Oslo is. Oslo is in Norway. So,
nice.
Anyway, KLM Flight 1204 reportedly diverted to the airport due to a hydraulics issue. Emergency services have not received any reports of injury among the 182 people on board. So, 2 incidents on the same day, and different continents. But fortunately, everybody was okay. Looks like they tore up the ground a little bit. Engine maybe took a little bit of damage, but yeah, everybody survived that one, so that's good.
I love KLM's livery.
I do too.
It's
nice.
great. I miss seeing it in the 747 passenger. They still have cargo 747s. Looks good, but
Will they bring one into Salt Lake every day or once a week?
Is that an A350 or
I think it's a Dreamliner.
I've seen it as 787.
Yeah.
And I've seen 777.
Yeah. I saw
777.
Yeah, the Dreamliner flew over my house like a few months back.
Yeah.
So who
beautiful.
flies the A350 then? Is that Delta?
It's not KLM. Delta does.
Right.
Yeah, Delta for sure does.
Yeah.
So here's just some quick video from the aftermath. Everybody's got a camera nowadays.
Yeah, that one doesn't look quite as chaotic. Still would have been scary, but not as scary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So glad everyone's safe there.
Yep.
So we got to go to the next one, which is
Yeah,
kind of a rough one.
before we do that, speaking of the new Area 51,
Yes.
he's actually got a really good post that he put out on X that I'm going to bring up here on screen real quick and read it real quick. So again, this is coming from the new Area 51. The past week, we've seen 4 airline accidents that were highly documented. The sheer amount of information that is almost instantly transmitted via the internet these days, including pictures, videos, ADS-B data, ATC audio, etc., is absolutely wild and can be difficult to digest. The flow of information can make aviation seem like things are getting out of control and safety globally is declining. Believe it or not, aviation safety continues to improve every year despite the events of the past week.
Exactly.
Yeah, good point. A study conducted by MIT this year presented the risk associated with commercial air travel. The risks of a fatality from commercial air travel was 1 per every 13.7 million passenger boardings globally in the 2018 through 2022 period. A significant improvement from 1 per 7.9 million boardings in 2008 through 17. And a far cry from the 1 per 350,000 boardings that occurred from 68 to 77.
Yikes.
When they were trying to figure out jet travel.
Yeah. When Comet comes to mind.
Yeah, Comet. Yeah, all that. There's roughly just over 100,000 flights that take place around the globe daily, transporting somewhere around 12 million passengers. In 2023, the estimated number of passengers that board an airline was approximately 4.5 billion people. It's also believed that roughly 80% of the world's population has never flown before. That is wild to think.
Even now?
Yeah.
That's pretty wild to think. I put this together because I know there are nervous flyers out there, and this past week's event should not discourage you to fly or not travel somewhere. Pilots everywhere take a lot of pride in flying you to where you want to go safely, and also do not want to be involved in an incident or accident or risk their own life. Some additional data from the FAA that's astonishing. Every day, FAA's Air Traffic Organization, ATO, provides service to more than 45,000 flights and 2.9 million airline passengers across more than 29 million square miles of airspace.
Damn.
16,405,000 flights are handled by the FAA yearly.
Wow.
10 million plus scheduled passenger flights yearly. 5,400 aircraft in the sky at peak operational time.
That's at the same time.
That's wild.
That's not
That
over the
is.
course of a day. That's in at the same moment.
That's right. And if you have one of those flight tracker apps, I mean, you pull up all the traffic, and it's unbelievable.
Take off all the filters, and you can't see the land anymore.
Exactly. 5.3 million square miles of United States domestic airspace, 520 airport traffic control towers, 19,633 U.S. airports, which is 5,082 public airports and 14,551 private airports, 21 air route traffic control centers, 147 terminal radar approach control facilities, 14,000 plus air traffic controllers. Look at this. 167,000 plus general aviation, 10,000 plus helicopters, 34,200 experimental light aircraft. December 28th.
And that doesn't...
And then it goes into the accidents he's talking about.
That doesn't include drones.
It doesn't include... Yeah, exactly.
Flying cars.
Yeah.
When those are going to start happening. I mean, seriously. They're working on it.
But it was a great post to point that out. And that's what we like to point out, too. And I think it's an important point here. Let me put this off.
Way to put that
screen,
into perspective.
But
New Area 51.
But exactly,
that was awesome.
It's very true. But what's crazy about this is all of a sudden the news media is interested in aviation again. Right. They only care when there's issues. They never report on just what the New Area 51 wrote in that post, how safe it is, how, millions of passengers, hundreds of thousands of aircraft have safe flight operations every day, every week, every month, every year. And it's just like when Boeing was having issues with the MAX and that type of thing. And it's like, but what about the millions of hours that the aircraft performed beautifully and transported passengers and crew safely to point A to point B, and they don't want to cover that because it's they can't sensationalize that.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is the fear porn. It generates clicks, and it sells newspapers, if you still read that shit anymore.
Newspapers,
right? But all they include is the fear porn. They don't include, and that was a great piece from the New Area 51. You need to be following him on X. For sure.
He says thanks for
and we've talked about this before on previous episodes, and I know I've even talked about this as well, that the news media is so annoying when it comes to aviation because they jump on things and then it's report. It's what's popular to talk about right now. This is happening. We want clicks. We want this. We want that. But you know how many incidents that are just minor that happen across the globe with all those numbers? Like, we all know too, because we worked at the airport. I remember I used to sit there. I worked at Salt Lake City International, and I used to just sit out there when it was.
Hey, so did we.
Well, I'm telling a personal
that was
story.
Just a coincidence.
I'd sit out there sometimes, and I was just amazed at how many aircraft were departing and arriving.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would sit there and I would just kind of like be in awe. I'm like, this takes a lot of fucking coordination to make all this happen and to make it all happen safely. So,
oh, totally.
No, it's a great point for someone to put in that much research, crunches the numbers, say, look, like, yes, these things happen, but you know what? They're very rare. Flying is still the safest way to travel long distance. So yeah, it was a great point. It was I hadn't read that, so I'm glad you brought that up. But you bet. Thank you for sharing that. We're happy to share that, and hopefully you guys can all go check that out.
And just so you know, that was a Top Gun reference. You were supposed to say, "Sorry, Goose, we." International Airport. I wasn't trying to be a dick here, brother.
When it does that.
We, thank you.
Thank
there you
you.
go.
All right. We also have another excellent post, actually, from New Area 51 that we're going to share when it comes to specifically to the incident and the Jeju Air Boeing 737. First thing we want to do, though, however horrific it is to watch, I think that we should watch the actual crash itself.
This one's
it's just
also a hard one to watch.
So when I first watched this, because I remember you sent it to me, because I was sitting in the parking lot of a grocery store when I saw this, and I was getting ready to actually send it to you guys, but I wasn't sure if it was real or not.
I know.
Yeah.
It did not look real to me, and then you sent it, then you start seeing more and more posts. Don't bother reading the captions of this one right now. We're gonna come back to that. Everybody's a fucking expert when it comes to aviation. But so before we start the video, of course, you can see right here in the left-hand portion of the screen, there's the aircraft on the ground, the Boeing 737-800. And I mean, just from that initial view, it looks to me like he is way down the runway.
No gear down.
Right.
And
no
he
gear.
is hauling ass.
It looks like maybe some spoilers have deployed, but you don't see any flaps or slats, anything along those lines.
Well, usually on a belly landing, they look like they're coming in a lot slower, but this guy...
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you can see there's no flaps.
Yeah, there's no flaps at all. So here we go. We'll just play the video. It's for those of you watching at home, if you have not seen this video yet, this is kind of disturbing. It's the first time I've said that.
It's pretty rough.
But it's rough to watch.
Well, especially when it was the two flight attendants sitting in the very back galley are the only ones that survived.
Can you believe
Two
that?
survivors.
Well, and also, after I saw the video, they were like, there's reports that maybe 30 people had survived. And I'm like, how the hell
it didn't
did
look like
anybody
it.
survive that?
Yeah,
I didn't believe that when I saw that.
Look how fast he's going.
Well, and you see the sparks are just flying behind the aircraft still.
So there's the end of the runway. But,
yeah, that's rough.
And a lot of people are questioning, why is this big concrete barrier at the end of the run? Now, look, I mean, back it up a little bit here. Let's see if I can back it up here. Oh, whoops. Didn't want to do that.
So, what are you trying to...
So there's the actual end of the
there's
pavement right there.
The end of the...
So now, for United States airport standards, this last section of the runway where the plane is right now, let me see if I can back it up. So from about, let's see if you can... So there's the threshold, or there's the actual end of the runway itself. Now, this is the stopway, and it should have that kind of concrete, at least in an American airport. It's that really soft.
Yeah,
it's kind of like you see.
However, in this situation, there's no gear to go down into it.
That's true.
Maybe the motors would have dug into it, but I don't know. I think something had caused the pilots, whether it was mechanical, whether it was pilot error, we don't know until the investigation's done. But something caused them to set that aircraft down way too far down the runway.
So there's the actual end of the runway right there. That's it. That's the runway, the stopway, and then now you get into, I can't remember what they call that last, however, that surface. So, but I mean, So even now, as we advance this a little bit, you can see that that's really not that far either.
Yeah, let that play the whole way through again, if you don't mind.
I will.
I'm
I'm just going to see that. But then you look at the distance between the end of the concrete, and then, I mean, look how short that is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's especially short when you're going that fast.
Well, absolutely.
Well. Yeah.
Look at that. He's just hauling.
So that's like, I pulled up a couple diagrams, and
I should know this because I was required to know this as a dispatcher.
And,
I just forgot. I'm old.
Yeah. The blast zone I'm getting on one.
So it comes after the stopway.
Yeah.
And there was an article about it. But anyway, so there's the horrific crash
Blast
itself.
pad. Yeah.
And then I don't want to get rid of that one. Actually, I need to switch this over. So let me pull up another one here. And so this article, again, from the new Area 51 on X. We didn't pull this up to kiss your ass, dude. We had this up already.
We have these tabs up already.
So you're a very trusted source. We appreciate it. So the Jeju Air Boeing 737-800 registration was originally delivered to Ryanair in 2009, operating as flight 7 Charlie-2216 from Bangkok to Muan, South Korea, with 175 passengers, 6 crew. The flight landed on runway 19 at about 0003 Zulu with all gear up, overran the runway sliding on fuselage, and engines impacted a concrete fence about 1,000 feet past the runway. Now, of course, the concrete fence was basically the instrument landing system.
It was like a barrier.
Yeah.
It was a reinforced berm barrier.
And what it looks like is, since it was so close to that blast zone of the runway, they probably designed it there to protect from the thrust of the engine, the aircraft taking off the opposite way.
Right.
But obviously somebody didn't realize that would be really bad if an aircraft overran the runway.
Well, but there are other airports across the world, even in the U.S. and other countries, which I guess is across the world. I don't know why I just said that. But it's that.
I like that button.
Thanks, brother. But that is meant to break away because there are several runway, overruns that happen all across the world all the time. You don't hear them reported until there's a fatality, and then of course it's reported every one of them. But I haven't seen many that are like actually reinforced concrete with a berm and
not like a I mean, but I mean at that speed, even if it was just like a chain link and whatever, I mean that would have been bad
still,
no matter what. But still, I mean you're right. Who knows how many people would have survived if it wasn't like engineered like it was.
Right. Yeah. And there's some interesting circumstances that happened during this as well that also maybe different decisions could have saved lives. Of course, it doesn't matter because now you're second guessing it and you're Monday morning quarterbacking it or whatever. But 2 people were rescued alive. 120 bodies have been recovered. So there were 178, I think, or 180
180 and 2 survived, 178 fatalities.
So wow, only 120 bodies have been recovered.
That's a big one.
And they were saying that they can't.
Footage, they won't recover.
Yeah,
some.
They can't. And a lot of these, I don't know if they consider body parts as bodies or what, but they can't identify most of these people because they're just gone.
Yeah, pretty big blast.
Just awful. I mean, they basically just ran that airplane through a shredder. Unfortunately, it's kind of a morbid thing to say, but it's just horrible. South Korea's Ministry of Transport reported there were several issues, including bird strike and landing gear malfunctions. They will thoroughly investigate to find out the causes. The ministry later added a bird strike warning had been issued at 8:57 local, about 6 minutes prior to the crash. About 1 minute after the bird strike warning, the crew declared Mayday at 8:58 while on final approach to runway 01. Tower cleared the aircraft to land on the opposite runway 19. The aircraft crashed 5 minutes later after declaring the Mayday. The flight data recorder has been recovered. The CVR has yet to be recovered. Now, this is from a couple of days ago.
And I think now they have they've recovered the CVR and so
they've had difficulty recovering data
because
from the flight data
of damage
report.
and they're both in the U.S. now,
Right.
where the NTSB and Boeing and whoever is trying to recover any data off of them.
So a ground observer reported that the aircraft flew through a flock of birds. You think it was a flock of seagulls?
No.
Anyway, sorry. Squirrel. 2 or 3 pop sounds were heard as if the birds were ingested into the engines. You can see that, on a video that we're going to show here in a second. Flames were seen from the right-hand engine. The aircraft climbed a little, but seemed to be unable to climb further and landed in the opposite direction. When the aircraft overflew the observer, it had the landing gear
Oh, it had
down.
its gear down? That's kind of odd.
So questions are surrounding: did he pull the gear back up to maintain airspeed and lift?
He probably just followed go-around procedures.
Yeah, he probably
That's
did.
true.
Yeah,
That's
just
true.
gear
And
up and
did they forget to put the gear down?
That's
because
what the
of everything
investigation.
going on.
That's what we're hoping the cockpit voice recorder will be able to reveal.
Exactly.
Because that's the only way, I think, in that situation.
Right.
I mean, I guess the flight data recorder, it could show them maybe trying to, raise and lower the gear and failing.
Well, and a bird strike typically does not cause a loss of hydraulics.
yeah, like that shouldn't mess with the landing gear.
Because you've
function.
got your primary system, you've got like it's 2 primary systems, and then you've got your backup or your backups. Sorry, I don't know the actual systems on the 737.
There's just so many redundancies.
Exactly.
I don't know if I can believe they forgot.
Well, see, the cockpit voice recorder, hopefully they can get most of it because they'll be able to see if, the first officer or the captain said, gear down, flaps down, whatever. And because that's normal discussion going on in the cockpit when you're on approach is, gear down, flaps it, whatever, and blah, blah, blah.
Well,
and so if there's no talk of that on the CVR, then...
In the meantime, you've got
start
all
going
these
in that
warnings
direction.
going off in the cockpit. You've got audible warnings, you've got lights, you've got everything else going on. Now, are you troubleshooting the problem and forgetting about flying the airplane?
Forget about... I mean, see, that's the thing. That's why you just can't speculate on something. Some of these posts that people are... There's too
and we're
many
going to go over a couple of these
is.
stupid posts.
There is,
You
just because I
don't
can't.
know.
If there's two pilots and you're putting the aircraft down, I just don't understand how you wouldn't have a thought in your brain to be like, is my gear down? I don't know.
But again, he was coming in so fast.
He was.
At the same
That's
time.
what I'm saying.
When you're stressed, when, potentially you've had, several bird strikes, cutting the engine, they had to go around that one time, right?
Yes.
So then,
but then they landed on the opposite direction.
Right. Executing a go around, having issues with the engine. I mean, you just don't know.
Right.
No.
I'm going to show the video of, but one more point that I want to make just while we're watching this is, you remember when we first, let's just look at the video. Now see, you see the pops right there.
Watch the number 2 engine.
Bam.
And that's a pretty big puff of something.
Yeah.
If that's a bird, that's
It's a pelican.
yeah, that's a huge ass
That's a
bird.
pretty big one.
If that's a
turkey
bird.
or a virtual.
Wow.
Turkey vulture.
Vulture. Yes, not a virtual. That's a virtual.
Turkey
It was
virtual.
all virtual.
Anyway, so there's that video as well. But what I wanted to say is, remember when we first started talking about this, is I mentioned it to either you or Ryan. I can't remember if we were on the phone or just texting. But this reminds me of the Lion Air Boeing 737 MAX that kicked off all the the craziness surrounding the 737 MAX aircraft.
Yeah.
And was this because a lot of these, and I'm not saying, I have no idea what the training program is of this airline.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that there was a combined amount of experience between the 2 pilots. But, one thing that stood out to me back with the whole Lion Air incident was airmanship.
Mm-hmm.
And, they were talking about the schools that these pilots go through, and they're basically teaching them how to run checklists.
Yeah, run checklists and just fly systems, not fly the airplane.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you wonder, in a situation like this, is this part of that culture? Here's an alternate view of the approach.
Yeah, it very well could be, and you just don't know. And
he's sinking pretty fast too.
Yeah.
But now he gets caught in the ground effect. You can see him wavering a little bit.
Well, look at that. He had thrust in the number 2 engine in that video.
Yeah, you can see it.
Didn't he?
And that doesn't mean that it's not, maybe only 20% thrust or whatever. But I mean, there was a lot of hot gases escaping out there.
It's just too bad. And then there's the resulting. We don't need to rusting into that anymore. So that's a question that I have.
Yeah, hopefully the cockpit voice recorder, hopefully they can recover enough in order to be, to help solve what happened and see what their, discussions were in the cockpits, what their decision making was, what they got right, what they missed. I mean, to me, my opinion, that's how they're going to find out what exactly happened on this.
Exactly.
Sad, though.
And then, when something happens like this, everybody is an expert. So this person here that we watched the first video from, this is from Gainshan _IR. 6 questions that are nagging me pertaining to the Jeju Airline air crash. Now, there's a couple things that stand out to me. First off,
he's eating ice cream.
Okay, he's eating ice cream. Secondly, hashtags.
Or noodles.
He wants eyeballs on this.
Yeah.
So is this clickbait?
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
I know, maybe. Well, let's read what he has to say, because I haven't read this part.
Okay,
and let's see if they're actual,
we'll address
legitimate aviation questions, or
we'll address this point by point here. So, the Jeju Air 2216 JAS fucking hashtags plane that crashed was a second-hand one.
The hell?
It was a second-hand airplane. Earlier used by Ryanair for almost 8 years before Jeju took over. Every nation has its own rules and regulations.
For almost 8 years.
Why Asian nations tolerate old planes? They don't. Dude, 8
years is not even half the life expectancy of an airplane.
If you knew how old some of these airplanes were and how many times they've changed hands.
Yeah,
well,
it happens all the time.
Secondhand one, you lose credibility right there. And not only that, but, the extensive maintenance checks that these aircraft have to go through.
Oh my gosh.
This had nothing to do with that. So you lost a little credibility on Bulletin 1.
I like this one, too. Bird attacks still remain.
So the birds are like,
hold on.
There's a 737.
That just might be like a language barrier where he doesn't really know. So give him the benefit of the doubt on that.
Right. All right. So bird attacks still remain.
He probably meant bird strikes or something, but maybe there's a language.
Here he goes trying to sound intelligent. Why isn't there a permanent solution? Use of LiDARs and sensors to detect incoming flock of birds and neutralizing them by shooting rapidly is not possible?
Oh my God.
Tagging Elon Musk to help. Again, trying to get more eyes on it.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, here's the thing. There are... Around airports, anyway, there are a lot of things in place to keep the bird population at bay, like air cannons and things like that. But
they even have falcons, with falconers that go out there.
There's a lot that they do.
Chase birds away.
So there are things around the airports. As far as the aircraft themselves, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well,
I don't know.
I guarantee you, shooting them rapidly, you don't want fucking bird shot flying around the airport with aircraft everywhere.
But it would be kind of cool to see a flock of birds ahead, and then the pilot in the 737 flips a switch. And then gets rid of the birds?
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you can't have a 30 mil on the aircraft.
We got a fleet of seagulls, 10 o'clock. Right here, pull up, turn left.
know.
The bird turns around and looks.
I know.
All right. Question number 3. Could there be a better alternative than belly landing in case the landing gear malfunctions? Deployment of safety set of wheels? What?
Well,
Yeah,
we don't
no.
even know if that was the issue. That's the
don't.
problem.
And I mean, it's still kind of a dumb question. I mean, yes, in fairness, we don't know if that
I
was
guess
the
somebody
issue.
doesn't know aviation. That
Right.
kind of
Okay.
says it right there. Like, you're not. I mean, yeah, okay. Next.
Deploy
I'm not even-
deploy the we're really, really, really serious. We need wheels.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Point number 4. Everyone knows Sully the pilot who created the Hudson Miracle. He had close to 20,000 flight hours of experience. The pilot of Jeju Air had only 6,000. Experience plays a key role. What can be done so that troublesome planes are flown by the most experienced?
I mean, I agree
That's
with
not a
them.
bad point.
I agree with them that it should be all about meritocracy when it comes to aviation.
Exactly. One thing I want to point out about Sully, though, is he was near the end of a very long career.
Yeah.
Sully was flying airliners at 6,000 hours.
Well, at some point, yeah.
You know, so you've got to have a certain point. Hopefully there weren't like corners that were cut when it came to the qualification process. Again, airmanship versus
once the investigation is
systems,
done,
exactly.
we'll be able to find that out.
Yeah. Number 5, why didn't the pilot plan for shedding fuel? The deaths could have been reduced. I don't agree with that whatsoever.
No, dude.
They're-
That explosion could have happened with 1,000 gallons.
With just the
or
reserve fuel
5,000
that's required for the
gallons.
airplane to
With
fly.
the sheer velocity that thing hit, it wouldn't have mattered. But also to consider, he may not have had time. He may not have had time to do any of that. It might have just happened, bam, bam.
Well,
But this was at the
it's
end
not like
of the
you just
flight.
drop a fuel tank.
Right.
Like, it takes a while to burn fuel.
and the other point, that I want to make is just 100% just watching the videos. Okay.
Mhm.
Again, we don't know until the investigation is complete,
Right.
but just watching the video, the wall there probably stopped the flames with the wings right at the wall. It probably, I think people died here from just the sheer force of the impact.
Just the force of
Oh,
the
yeah.
and
impact.
going through
Yeah.
that wall. I mean, you
Yeah.
The
see
fire was secondary.
there's
for sure.
there's photos of just the top of the cockpit just laying on the ground. Like,
Mhm.
the aircraft basically just got sliced in half
Yeah.
pretty much and just got disintegrated because of the
Yeah.
speed from hitting the wall. So there's a lot of factors. You can't, just
Well,
because there was an explosion, you
but
can't
here's-
necessarily just blame that on
Here's the other thing, too. Now, being a former dispatcher, there were standards that we had to
You
follow.
were a dispatcher?
Oh, shut up.
Didn't know that.
When we were planning for the
When
fuel
was
of the
this?
aircraft.
I'm just kidding.
So
Sorry, brother.
we used a formula that was called BAR, B-A-R,
Okay.
burn, alternate fuel, and
Okay.
reserve. So
Okay.
BAR, those are what is required by the FAA
Mhm.
when you're planning fuel. So the burn off is obviously the amount of fuel it takes to get from your departure airport to your destination.
Yeah.
Alternate fuel is required if there are, if there's weather en route. Well, actually, alternate at your destination.
Mhm.
So at your destination airport, the weather has to be to a certain
Yeah.
level. Otherwise, you need to plan an alternate and
Sure.
add alternate fuel, enough fuel to get from the destination if you're unable to land to get to that alternate airport. Now,
Mhm.
look, to me, from what I could see, it was a pretty clear day.
Mhm.
So they're not going to have any alternate
Yeah.
fuel, in my opinion. Now, if this was an overseas flight, you're talking about over water, different things like that. There are different fuel.
And
regulations
there's probably
required.
some type of extra fuel just in case there was like an issue, the runway was closed because of a
Now,
crash or something.
This is what the R is, the reserve
Okay,
fuel.
there you go.
So you have that reserve. It's a 45-minute reserve. I'm not sure if the regulations are different in other countries,
Mhm.
but you have to have a 45-minute reserve in case of unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah.
So think about it. If you're flying from Las Vegas to
LA.
what's a short flight? Las Vegas to LA.
Yeah.
All right. That's not even like 30 minutes in the air.
Yeah,
It's a
really
short flight.
Yeah.
And so your reserve is actually going to end up being more fuel than what your planned burn off is.
Mhm.
So that explosion's going to happen, even if you're down to your very last.
Yeah, and NASA has done testing on aviation fuels to try to make it less volatile in a crash, and by fuel adding something to it so it kind of gels and maybe isn't. But I mean, the tests were just complete failures because it just once that fuel, you get in a crash like this and it just sprays out in all directions, it becomes a mist, and that's basically going to ignite like crazy. And that's how it ignites in the engine, is it's sprayed
with that much kinetic energy too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
all right,
so that addresses point number 5.
Last point.
We're running a little long.
I don't like this point. This is my least favorite.
Yes, this is, and it's kind of one of the dumbest points as well, because and again, our good friend Mr. Gaincham is trying to sound intelligence here. Boeing, after 737 MAX, now it seems there are structural limitations of 737-800. What does this have to do with the structural integrity of the aircraft?
No, any aircraft that hits a concrete structure at that speed, you're going to have the same results. It has nothing to do with the type of aircraft it is.
You get an A-10 that's designed to take hits.
Okay, so go ahead and thoroughly investigate every Boeing model. Go ahead. You're not going to come up with anything that's going to say, oh, you know what? Now, maybe the size of an aircraft would have a different effect. Maybe you'd have more survivors, right? Just because the impact would be absorbed early on, and maybe you'd have a few more survivors, but it has nothing to do with the structure.
777 or 747, maybe the fuselage would have made it over that.
Yeah, I was going to say like an A380, and the plane comes to a stop, and the pilot's like, "Do you feel something?"
I know.
Well, what are they going to do? Ground all planes of models found fault? Okay, that's normal practice anyway. If an aircraft goes through its safety inspection, maintenance inspection, they find anything, then they ground the aircraft and they repair it and they fix it. So,
but that is not the issue.
That's not the issue. So it's
any aircraft hitting a wall, like you were saying, at that speed, it
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So anyway, I mean that was kind of.
We had a few more things that I wanted to touch on this. I just want to touch on one more thing though before we move on to something else here. Let's see. Is
it about this accident?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there he is. Okay. This post is coming from Li Sang Fu. Next time I take a flight, I will make sure my plane isn't a Boeing 737-800. Okay, jump on the bandwagon.
Why? Fucker. Because of the decades of safe flying it's provided?
Exactly.
I know, that's so funny.
So, yeah.
And it's probably one of the most common aircraft out there.
And this is all clickbait once again. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it was 737-800. American Airlines returned to Chicago after possible midair emergency.
Yeah, that's specific.
That's for every fucking aircraft type that's ever flown.
I know.
Actually, I was going to do something else, but you get that one because you sound.
No, dude.
This is the one I was going to do.
That's appropriate
there
as well.
Go.
So I don't know. Just people being naive. I don't know.
Everyone becomes an expert. Everybody gets interested.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So, all right. There were some other things we were going to talk about, but I think we pretty much covered it. There is one more thing I want to cover really fast, just when it comes to basically aviation safety overall. And I thought this was actually pretty interesting. I think, Ryan, you sent this to us. So we'll talk about this. So this is from Level SIO. And again, this is from his site, airlinelist.com.
Wait, there can't be any Boeings on there.
Oh, my goodness.
Sorry.
What?
Go ahead, brother.
I was going to let you do this just because.
Oh, okay.
This is what you sent to us. So
did you already say who it was from? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
It's basically the only planes left with 0 fatal accidents.
Okay, and here we go. Airbus A350, Airbus A380, Comac
it's a Chinese airliner.
C919.
It's because there's probably 2 flying.
Okay. Airbus A319, 20, and 21 Neo.
Yeah, so the Neo versions.
Yes.
There's been fatalities with the non-Neo versions.
And this, and just to be
Yeah.
clear, this is with zero fatal accidents, because
Right.
obviously there's accidents. The Airbus A340, the Boeing 717, or the MD-95, the Boeing 747-800, the Airbus A300 Beluga, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, and the SpaceX Crew Dragon.
That's random. He threw a space.
I know,
right?
It's probably a
Now,
He's an
SpaceX
Elon
fan.
fan. What about the...
I thought there was an A340 that had crashed in Canada where there were fatalities. I'm going to look that up.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I
let's look
guess
that
we
up.
can verify. We just sometimes...
This is just his post. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
we
just wanted
go
to-
through and we see posts, and we like to share content, just like we would hope people would share ours.
And if he's going to include the Airbus A300 Beluga, then wouldn't it be fair to include the 747 Dreamlifter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Because I
yeah.
don't
So
believe...
the one I was thinking about, let's see, to Toronto, it was the Air France A340, Flight 358. All 309 passengers and crew on board survived.
Excellent.
Well, there you go. They
I
all
thought
survived.
that there were fatalities on that.
So
Okay.
just with this information and from that post that you read from the new Area 51, just about how safe air travel really is, guys, it really is safe. It just, anyway, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no.
that was pretty interesting.
that was pretty interesting as well. What do you say here? Let's see. Any more comments? Nope. Thanks again, everybody, for watching once again. A lot of you on X tonight. Really appreciate that. Don't forget, it's a live stream every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. I know we missed a couple weeks here and there, but, you know, life happens. But if you happen to miss an episode, you can go to our YouTube channel, click the live tab, and that's got all of our past live streams
Same
on
with
there
X.
as well. Same
Yeah.
with X.
Yep.
And then we've got a lot of content as well, a lot of original content. We don't just share stuff. We actually create our own. Aaron, he's a hell of a photographer. I handle the camcorder video portion of it. Ryan's our kind of social media vertical. So we all contribute. We all put up some pretty cool stuff. We'd love to have you follow us if you're not following us already. And let's see, I guess
We need to cover one more story.
it's cover the fuck around and find
Yeah,
out.
let's get right into
All right, let's do that. I was going to do a palate cleansing video, but we just don't have time.
No,
We're running a little bit
let's go
long
in.
tonight.
Let's go into the fuck around and find out.
Here we go.
The more you f around,
All right, so I'm just going to put up this X post from Tyler Rogaway first before we dive in. And Aaron, if you want to pull up the first story here, let's see. This kind of sums it all up in one X post. This is from Tyler Rogaway. Of course, we love his content. He's editor-in-chief of thewarzone.com. Follow him at aviation_intel on X. China just flew the aircraft concept I have been begging the USAF to procure for nearly a decade and a half. Yeah, a million caveats here, but today is not a good day for U.S. air power. Don't let them brush it off. We'll have a full story on this. This one is almost personal for me. And then we do have a story on that. I don't know if this is the one that he was referring to, but I can pull that up really quick.
Yeah, pull it up because I didn't have the links that you had set on your computer set on mine,
Gotcha.
and so I just have I'll pull something up. But
Okay,
it's a little,
and we've also got another story from our friends over at excuse me, whoa, choking to death here over at Simple Flying. So this is coming from the War Zone. Chila. All right, Ryan or Aaron, you guys need to read this. I'm done reading.
You mess up the first word and you're done, huh?
you wanna-
China stuns with heavy stealth tactical
China.
jets sudden appearance. You need to do the scrolling though for me, bro.
You,
I'm
you didn't
like-
memorize
I'm
it?
not
So
peeking.
Look at these
look-
pictures.
Look at this thing.
Wow.
Okay, now
Interesting.
my first thought when I
This
saw
is just
these,
one of them.
okay, is you can't blame China for copying everything United States, because that is different looking.
That one does look kind of original. Yes.
Now
It does.
Now here's the thing, though. The United States has been flying a 6th gen type aircraft fighter, the NGAD program, and for years, and so you don't know if maybe something got leaked on that or whatever.
And they may copy. Yeah.
First impressions, that's not really a copy of it. It looks like something you would buy like as a G.I. Joe aircraft back in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
and
wild.
because it is a military aircraft, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All
Go
right.
ahead and scroll and
let's read this story once again from the war zone. In something of a stunning development, China appears to already, be flying a stealthy, high-performance 6th-generation crewed combat aircraft, imagery of which began to emerge today. At this early stage, we have very little idea about the precise identity of the new aircraft, but many elements of its design are very much in line with what we already knew about Chinese 6th-gen air power aspirations. Only a matter of hours after the appearance of the first Chinese combat aircraft today, videos and photos of another new design began to circulate. Also, tailless, the smaller design may well originate from the Shenyang Aircraft Corporation, and you can read more about it.
See, and that's the one on the right side
right here.
That's the smaller one.
Yeah, that's the smaller one.
Okay.
So you're going to play that. There it is. Interesting.
That's pretty wild. Now, there was a J-20 flying with it, so we don't know if, how loud the new, Anyway, scroll back up.
Well, it was kind of like that video of the B-21 Raider. Everyone was like, it's so loud, but it was actually the chase plane.
F-16 that was chase. Scroll up. Who posted that? Justin Bronx.
Justin_Bronx.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So thanks for that video. Here's another video by I cannot read that. Eastwind 6699.
Yeah, turn that down a little bit. So a little bit further away. So China
is asshole.
Well, they clearly wanted these videos and photos.
Yeah,
of
because
course they did.
If they
and that's why they did this during the day.
Yes,
people were going to notice.
Out in public.
Yeah, I mean it's
during the last few days of the Biden administration.
Yeah,
that's all right. Bring it.
Yeah,
bring it. Let's do this. I mean, if you were just out and about and you're an app geek and you saw that, you'd be freaking out.
Coolest
you'd
fucking
be
thing
like,
ever.
that's so
Geeked
cool.
out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
All right. Okay.
Video and photos that began to circulate on social media today show the previously unseen aircraft conducting a daytime test flight alongside a two-seat J-20, serving as a chase plane. The locations and dates of the various imagery cannot be verified at this stage, although the presence of the J-20 suggests the Chengdu Aircraft Corporation factory airfield is a likely candidate.
Well, and I think also, too, having a J-20 as the chase plane, that was also deliberate.
Yeah.
Instead of just having just one of their other. I mean, it's kind of weird looking from the side.
Yeah, it's interesting, that's for sure.
It's different side view. For sure. So.
There has also been no official comment from the Chinese Ministry of Defense or state media so far. So that says it to me too that they wanted everyone to see it.
Yeah,
and then you don't address it. So it's like, oh, sneaky. Aside from the sheer size of the aircraft, of the new aircraft, which we'll address in a moment, the most striking thing about it is its planned form and tailless configuration.
Mm-hmm.
It has a modified delta wing with chine lines extending all the way to the nose area, while its central fuselage section, at least the bottom of it, is loosely reminiscent of the J-20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The broad nose could even provide space for side-by-side crew seating, although the limited views of the canopy mean we cannot be sure whether the aircraft has a single seat or a two-seat arrangement, with tandem twin seats being another option.
It's
pretty wild.
It is girthy.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that.
It's got a lot of girth to
It's
it.
got a lot of
it's a
girth.
girthy one. And it's girthy for payload and fuel.
Yes,
Weapons and fuel.
definitely. But again, they look really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But what's on the inside?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, is this just?
Well, I mean, China has a hard enough time making a good, reliable military engine. So,
right. But I mean, look at their drones nowadays and their robots.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely catching up.
Mm-hmm.
It goes on to say there was already growing evidence pointing to the fact that China's next fighter would be tailless, and designs of this kind had previously appeared in the form of technical studies. Back in October 2021, a mysterious tailless aircraft shape appeared in satellite images of the CAC factory airfield. It was a large, modified, diamond-like delta planform with a relatively thin nose section that had also a significant wingspan, broadly similar to that of a J-20. But it's worth noting that this shape does not look the same as the aircraft we are seeing.
There's the picture over there.
Oh, yep. Yeah, definitely different. Beyond that, next generation tactical combat aircraft, eschewing traditional tails, is a major design driver being pursued by the U.S. military as well. This is predominantly to significantly reduce the aircraft's radar signature across multiple bands and from all aspects.
Mm-hmm.
There are some aerodynamic efficiencies also to be had with such a design, especially one used for long-range operations via reduction in aerodynamic drag, which should provide better performance for sustained high-speed dashes and cruising flight. At the same time, a tailless configuration can adversely affect overall maneuverability, even with the most advanced computerized flight control systems.
And the F-22 Raptor is an example of that. You look at the tails, you look at all the control surfaces on the Raptor, they are huge. I mean, ginormous. And it's because of the maneuverability.
The thrust vectoring, right?
Well, thrust vectoring, the huge ass tails it has, the big wings. I mean, it's
There are currently no signs of thrust vectoring engines on this aircraft, which would help enhance agility and overall stability. The engine exhausts are mounted in the best place to mask the aircraft's infrared signature atop the rear of its fuselage, similar to the YF-23.
YF-23, wow.
Interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool looking aircraft, but at the same time, it might not be as equipped and as cool as it looks, but it also could be. It looks to me kind of like a mini, like they mixed a B-2 with like a Raptor or something like that.
So I'm going to put this up really quick, brothers.
Go for it. You're fine.
See that? That's what it reminded me of initially.
That's
so
cool.
This was a concept proposed to turn the F-22 Raptor into like a bomber like the FB-111.
Oh, wow.
And
come on, why not?
Yeah, I know.
Do it.
Doesn't that look sick? But
that is cool.
It's kind of along those lines.
I mean, I gotta believe that the United States military has something.
They do. The NGAD, they've already admitted.
Well, I know
they've been flying prototypes of it that have been breaking records.
They just haven't made it public. Is what I mean.
Well, here's the thing: we got to remember, though, brothers. B-21 just had its first flight last year.
Yeah, that's true.
And B-21 is just as, if not more impressive than what we're seeing like out of China. I mean, it's because the technology's in it. The reliability of the engines are in it. It's cutting edge. You don't know if it's just an exterior design. And on top of that, I mean, B-2 has been flying for 30 plus years.
I know.
So it's like, it is impressive, and I think it just caught everybody off guard because it's like, oh shit, it's getting real.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well, I'll read Jederazzi's comment.
Yeah.
That was his comment. Hey, Jederazzi, how are you?
One more.
Things are definitely getting real with China, and they're still a decade, maybe a decade and a half behind. At least a lot of
It looks pretty, but what are its capabilities?
Yeah, and you certainly can't take it lightly because they're trying to catch up to us. So we need to be constantly innovating and bringing new aircraft. And all I can hope is that this maybe lit a fire under some of the military leaders that like, hey, we need to get NGAD done.
Yeah.
And we need to get FAXX for the Navy done. Like,
or they just know it's done and they saw this and they just laughed.
And they just kind of laughed a little bit. But I would say within the next like 90 days, especially with the new administration, Trump getting back into office, and I think we're going to see something about NGAD or FAXX.
Oh,
I think
he's going to respond to this
because Trump is not going to let China one up.
Yeah, if he saw that, he's like
FP Hegseth.
I can even see them like seeing this video and be like, all right, here in about 3 weeks, we need to do something that's going to blow that out of the water. I kind of agree with Wadman on this one. Wadman commented, I don't think it's a fighter, to be honest. I would lean more of an attack bomber for sure. Yeah,
exactly. Like an F-111, like an FB-111.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
totally.
And I just want to kind of expand on what you were saying, Aaron, too. And the reason why I decided to put this as the fuck around and find out segment is because you see what China's doing right now. They the air show that they had, what was it, last month? They're showing off all their military might.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, out of the blue, quote unquote, they have, their brand new 6th generation fighters. All right. What was it, last year? They successfully tested a hypersonic missile. And just the reason why I put this in this segment is because what the fuck are they doing in our military right now? They're more concerned about people's feelings.
Yeah.
They're more concerned about equity.
It's been way too
diversity.
Our
all this
military
other
is politicized in a lot of ways. It needs to get back to being the military.
To being the formidable force, which is the deterrent.
Which they still are.
Right. But I'm saying get back. Yes.
But get back to focus strictly on
things will change.
But
defending this country in the best way.
Our adversaries see the writing on the wall, and that's why they're doing shit like this.
Yeah,
and they see a weak commander-in-chief. I'm talking about
the current administration,
the current,
which has been frustrating over the last couple years.
So we're going to see a big change beginning January 20th, and especially once we get Hegseth in there. And all these other appointees. Exactly. All right. So anyway, so there's that. I think. Oh wait, that's right. We have a story from Simple Flying, which is about the other one that was spotted as well. So this is from Simple Flying. Our good friend AvGeek Joe actually sent this to us. Put this on our timeline on X. Is that what it's called? The timeline?
Yeah,
thanks,
I
Joe.
Say post on it.
I'm surprised we haven't heard from Joe tonight.
I know, right? He's
must have fallen asleep early.
Yeah, exactly. Or he's on assignment, some secret assignment. He's in China covering this.
He's having sweet. He's laying his head on his Bayo pillowcase.
No, it's Bio.
That's right.
It's Bio, baby.
This is by Aaron Spray from Simple Flying. Videos have emerged online purportedly showing China's new 6th generation fighter jet flying for the first time with a 5th generation J-20 Mighty Dragon fighter acting as a chase plane. This will make China the 2nd nation in the world to fly a 6th generation fighter jet. In 2020, Defense News reported that U.S. had secretly flown a 6th generation demonstrator, likely for NGAD, while Northrop Grumman claims the B-21 Raider is a 6th generation combat aircraft, even though it's a strategic bomber.
But is it just a strategic bomber?
Is it?
That's right.
Dum, dum, dum.
You just don't know.
Don't know.
Whereas countries like the US, UK, and Russia tend to be reasonably open about their next-generation fighter jet programs, China is incredibly secretive and is often missing much of the conversation because so little is, or missing from much of the conversation because so little is known. Amazing how one word changes an entire sentence.
Exactly.
So this is, again, more pictures. of
the bigger fighter.
Yeah, the bigger one.
Bigger aircraft, which is probably more the bomber, fighter bomber type.
Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to give Simple Flying some kudos as well, just for their coverage.
White Emperor.
Yeah.
That was that like Transformers 6th Gen mock-up they had on display at the air show.
Yeah.
That one was, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it looks like Firefox to me.
It sure does, doesn't it? Although Firefox looked better than that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Perhaps the most significant non-Chinese sixth-generation fighter jet programs are the United States Air Force NGAD program, which includes the development of sixth-generation fighter and collaborative combat aircraft, aka loyal wingman drones, the U.S. Navy's FAXX program, and the Anglo-Japanese-Italian Tempest GPAP program.
Yeah.
I know a guy who has a GPAP. It helped him stop snoring.
GCAP.
GCAP. Anyway, go on to Simple Flying. You can read a lot more about this. We're running way long, so we can't go on for much longer.
Sure.
But
damn, we really are.
We really are.
A lot happened.
That's all right. Hey, we're all here together in
Exactly.
studio. I don't have to go help put kids to bed, even though I miss them and love them.
Right?
Hi, honey. Love you. And Oliver Mula. But anyway, it's okay if we went a little long. There was a lot of shit to cover.
Yes, and before we close out this segment, Wadman says, I have quite a bit of things to say about these, but I'll save it for next time you guys have me on. Ooh, way too much to type.
Whoa, Wadman. Fighting words.
Yeah, we need to get you on there, buddy. We'd love to hear from you about
Better
that.
be careful about building hype.
Everybody, that has been Fuck Around.
The more you fuck around.
Wow, good show, brothers. It's It just kind of flew along. A lot of people watching on X tonight, which
No
we really
pun
love and
intended.
appreciate. And I guess, right?
We are an aviation podcast.
Yes, we are.
My ass hurts though.
I know.
These aren't the most comfortable
these aren't-
chairs.
Yeah, we're kind of winging it here tonight.
Yes, I know. I miss
Tony's
my big desk chair that I can like recline and anyway.
Sure.
Hey, before we take off, really quick, make sure you head over to the Ramp Swag store, rampcheckglobal.com. A lot of new designs. Ryan is wearing one of our latest.
I should probably show the back, huh?
Just don't want to see your ass.
Yeah.
Oops, hold on.
Cool.
Let me get the view. Okay, go ahead, bro.
All right.
The dual view.
Let me show this one. Ugh.
Go ahead. Look at that beauty.
Nice.
Oh yeah, look. B1, B2, B21, B52. U.S. Air Force Bomber Fleet, America's backbone of freedom, printed on the back of the shirt.
That's a cool backbone,
Nice.
brother.
There you go.
I like
And
that.
got the good old RampCheck Aviation logo on the front. Love this
There you go.
stuff. Very comfortable.
There you go.
I actually have quite a bit of new stuff that I'll just wear over the next few weeks. But yeah.
So this is a new T-shirt. This actually was a request.
I just threw that up there, brother Walter.
Oh yeah, no. Well,
oh, nice.
yeah. Look how cool that is. So it's basically those are the four main squadron nicknames at Hill Air Force Base. You got the Fujins, the Rams, Widows,
Black Widows.
You got the little HL jet on top with the AIM-9Xs on there. But anyway, so that's a new T-shirt design.
I like that
one of our good friends actually requested that one, so I threw that together. But anyway,
Wait.
what's that?
Good, you're here.
We were just asking where Joe
Yeah, we were
was.
like, where the hell
Hi,
is Joe?
Thanks.
Hi, Joe. Good to see you.
We're
buddy.
anyway.
good you're here, but we're about to end. But
Yeah.
better late
But
than
anyway,
never.
look how cool these are.
Oh,
Look how
nice.
cool these are. These are embroidered. So that's like a big embroidered helicopter. CH-53.
Super
Nice.
Stallion.
Super Stallion. Now, some of these, just as a reminder, to be generic on the name, because Lockheed Martin and Sikorsky, they have copyrights on the names of a lot of these aircraft and helicopters. So this one, if you want that, it's a U.S. Marine Corps heavy lift helicopter.
Gotcha.
But anyway, and then, exactly.
So just about the names.
Yeah.
But
And then
cool.
we got the Alabama 187 fighter wing red tail
The red
hats.
tails,
Those are
yeah,
cool.
nice.
Now these are new. So we have two different versions of our hoodies. Is that coming in clear? Or is that it's not?
It's starting. It's loading.
Some of them are.
Yeah. The signal must not be super great, but anyway. So these are the aggressor hoodies and the squadron hoodies that I've been working on. So this is 65th aggressor. So this is like kind of version 2.0. And this is more of a like a warmer hoodie.
Like a fleece line.
Yeah. So, but you can see it's a little bit different than some of the originals, but it's got great graphics on it.
Hey, speaking of,
check out the back. Look how cool those are.
Yeah.
She must work out. Oh, cool. I'm sorry.
Tony. Okay, let's get the dude on here. So you're not gonna.
He must work out.
Exactly.
But anyway,
don't you have a little something for us, by the way?
I do. Oh shit! I'm glad you reminded me.
Completely forgot.
So anyway, go to the RampSwag store. We've got ton of hoodies right now. We still got swimwear on there. Tons of just kick-ass stickers, hats, you name it. But anyway, okay.
I think Joe's got an idea for a shirt. Beomach, Mace, Stefan, Stalin. There you go.
I like it. We'll have to do something like that, dude.
Here's another idea for a shirt. Shut up, Joe.
How about this last one? Did you get Bayoed today? Nice.
I'm sure Kara would buy that one.
Right? That's true. Yeah, exactly. Okay, one last one. Let's see.
You just turned it off. Yeah.
Oh, did I? Let's see.
Here, I'll remove.
Here's another one. My idea of Safe Skies Utah is a Panther and Afterburner.
There you go.
I like it.
So anyway,
Thanks, Joe.
we'll leave the RampSwag store QR code up here, but yeah.
Okay.
RampCheckGlobal.com. Click on the RampSwag store section.
Oh,
swimwear,
somebody
hoodies,
just did.
hats, stickers, lots of stuff. We even have some shoes. We got a lot of cool, even non-military related aviation items on there. Like the remove before flight items, which is cool. But anyway, okay, so I have a Christmas present for my brothers.
What? We're doing this live?
And we're doing this live.
Am I going to cry?
I don't know, maybe. But anyway, so I did something for you guys. I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate you and all of the hard work and the family love we have and how much of a good time we have doing this. So here we go. So on my way down to Tony's tonight, I asked him if he had some Christmas bags. And
I just couldn't find them.
He said he did, but when I showed up, he completely failed me. So these are happy birthday bags.
Happy birthday.
But anyway, there you go. Go ahead and open it. And try not to shed a tear.
Oh, damn, nice. Check out these.
Oh, dude.
Shot glass. Check that out.
Yeah.
Check that out. That's dope, dude. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Established 2016. Love it.
My RampCheck balls have finally arrived.
I finally got Ryan and Tony a pair of balls.
Nice.
I like how you gave us 2 each. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Check that out.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
The logo golf balls.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother.
And those are not available on the RampSwag store, but maybe one day they will.
That's
Should we
Thanks,
do a shot
brother.
of my aviation gin? Probably not. Not gin.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
brother.
But anyway,
we appreciate that. That's awesome.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks, brother.
We look forward to a prosperous 2025.
Yes, which all of you listening and watching could help us have a prosperous 2025. Please scan the QR code. Help us out. Support us. We appreciate it. Thanks, brother. That was really nice of you. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was very, very cool. That shot glass is...
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
They turned out cool.
I am excited.
Right here.
Nice.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks again for watching, everybody. We appreciate you tuning in. 2025, we really want to not only add more content because this is what we love doing. We love communicating with y'all. We love bringing the stories, talking aviation. One of the big goals of 25 is to bring on more guests because, there's a lot more interesting people out there than us. And we definitely want to bring their stories.
What?
I mean, hey, we love everything about aviation and everybody that follows us, and we appreciate the support through the RampCheck store. And, but we definitely have some cool friends that want to come on again, and then also want to come on for the first time. So we'll get them on. And we promise this year we'll definitely have more guests consistently sharing their kick-ass stories.
I agree.
I wanted to say one more thing about Aaron giving us the gifts.
Sure.
Thanks, brother.
You're welcome.
That's awesome. One more message here from AvGeek Joe before we take off. Thanks, guys. I needed this after the hard non-aviation news 2025 kicked off with Amen.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah,
man.
we talked about that a little bit at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, everybody stay safe. Keep your head on a swivel.
Absolutely. Make 2025 a good year.
And Joe, you'll have to go back and you'll be able to rewatch this live stream either on X or YouTube when we're done. So.
Yep. Hey, thanks again,
Enjoy.
everybody, for watching tonight. Really appreciate it. Like I said, a lot of you on X this evening. If you are not following us on X, make sure you do so. Hit that notification bell as well. We're going to be not only doing our live streams, but we're going to try and jump on as much as possible, especially when there's breaking aviation news going on. We love the SpaceX Starship launches. We're going to try and cover each and every one of those as well, the best we can. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel as well. Get those notifications. Check out our content. Like it, share it, subscribe. We'd sure love you for it. We sure appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
It's free.
It doesn't.
And so you can...
It doesn't.
All that money that you would spend subscribing somewhere else, you can go to our Ramp Swag store and buy yourself some Ramp Swag.
There you go.
It's a win-win. Exactly. All right, everybody. That, I think, about does it for tonight. Sorry we didn't get to a couple of our stories. We'll try and cover those again maybe next week as we come back. Geez, it depends on what else happens. A lot has happened in aviation. It's been just like one thing after another.
I want to see NGAD.
I do too. And I want to see it as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
No fuzzy, blurry pictures. I want the real fucking deal.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching tonight. We will see you next week. Make sure you go to all our different social medias at RampCheck Global. Check us out. Say hi. Interact with us. We love you guys watching. Thank you so much. And I'm Tony.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Ryan. Good day.